we can start with the first question. The first question is for Mercedes Fernandez of the IOC, and exactly is which can be a possible path for the uptake of the OLEUM methods by the IOC?
Well, the way I think I explained it in the presentation, but the way is to make an official proposal, and it will be a writing proposal, and then if you want to present it there is a restricted working group, a subgroup that study all the proposals of new methods of analysis. If it's okay, if there is any questions or any additional requests, it is presented then to the chemist group, and you can do a presentation there. And if it's adopted by the IOC expert group, it's proposed to the council for it's validated, a retest is organized, and all the process is done, as I explained it before, and then the proposal is sent to the council that met twice a year, and we need, since we propose the method completely validated, we need 4 more months we send it for information first and then adoption. So it could be easily, once it passed the study and analysis of the working group of the experts, then is validated and then passed to the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's very clear. So you think that anyway, for any method is requested a final formal validation by IOC in case?
Normally, we ask for all the information, all the validation you had. Normally, what we do is to do the validation, the retest by all the with laboratories recognized by the IOC from different countries. It's very important that they are from many countries and recognized by the IOC. Normally, is the way, but it depends. We should see and how it's validated, and we need all the information about the method, and we will study it in the case. If not, sometimes we need to validate it to organize a retest, or sometimes also, as I said before, we need to compare with other methods. It depends on the kind of method. If there exists another method, similar method, or if it's a completely new method, it depends on the method.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's clear. Thank you, Mercedes.
Yeah, one of the other panelists that joined and hasn't spoken yet during the conference is Pierluigi Del Monte. And Dr. Del Monte earned his PhD in food biotechnology from the University of Bologna and worked for the US Food and Drug Administration for the last 20 years. And currently he's chair of the analytical division of the American Oil Chemists Society. Tulia, will you propose the question to him?
Yes. So this is the question for Pierluigi Del Monte. You are welcome. Which one of the methods developed in OLEUM could also be of greater interest for the Food and Drug Administration?
First of all, many thanks for the invitation and for including us in the advisory board. We are very pleased with the large amount of high quality science that was produced by the OLEUM consortium over these last 4 years. Not an easy question. I would like to make first a point that although there were several citizen petitions filed with the US FDA within last year, to date, we do not have a standard of identity for olive oil and extra virgin olive oil. For consequence, what we can enforce for now is only the purity, which means the addition of seed oils. So in this current framework, we consider very interesting the method for sterols, free and esterified. And we look forward to know the limit of detection for specific seed oils that are difficult to detect in low amounts using the standard methods we are applying now as the ECN 42 and the standard sterol analysis. We are very, very, very interested according to how our regulatory framework is going to evolve into your research on the quality, chemical quality methods, because for us, maintaining a panel will be very cumbersome. So if the evaluation, the sensory evaluation could be replaced with a chemical analysis, for us it would be extremely, extremely valuable. So we look forward to hear tomorrow the results in terms of limit of detection and validation of the studies or the methods that you had developed.
Thank you. Thank you for this interest in our methods. And yes, tomorrow we will have all the details of each one by the developers. So I think you could have answers to your curiosities. Thank you, Pierluigi.
Yes, the next panelist that I would like to introduce is Professor Lan Franco Conte. He's nowadays retired full professor of food chemistry after working at the University of Udine from 1992 to 2018. And since 1993, he is within the EU Olive Oil Chemists Expert Group and within the International Olive Oil Council Chemists Group. He's the chairperson of the Italian Society for Fat Research, member of the Italian Accademia Nazionale dell'Olio for olive oil, and member of the Euro Fat Lipid Board and member of the Uni-ISO group for fats and oils. Tulia, you have a question for Professor Conte.
Yes, sorry, I put the audio off. The question is the following. In the future, within the OLEUM network, is there room for you for organizing, do you think there is room for organizing webinars or hands-on training courses when it will be possible, focus on the practical application of analytical methods to improve the skills of laboratories, the proficiency, and the skills of staff, students that eventually can attend, possibly can attend?
Yes, hello to everybody, and thanks for your kind invitation. Yes, I think it should be advisable that some room for this purpose will be available. I think it is mandatory, it will be. The question is who will be in charge to do this and how to organize this activity. I think maybe that IOC could be in charge of this, but we know that the procedure of IOC surely cannot ensure a very quick organizing of this kind of activity, and that is not this does not depend on anything, on anybody. It's just a question of procedure, and nobody can do anything about this. Probably each institution which developed and proposed that method could do this. In my opinion, it is mandatory, pending the pandemic, of course, that such events can be organized in presence. On my experience, the best thing is to that a group of persons, a group of scientists, carry out the method in the lab with those who proposed and developed this, and then discuss in the classroom the obtained results in order to highlight the drawbacks, the mistakes, or the misunderstanding of selected little attention that are mandatory to respect to get good results for the methods, from the methods.
Thank you, Lan Franco, for this answer. And I see also there is a question, but later on for you and for Del Monte, but later on in the question and answer session.
Okay, the next panelist that I would like to introduce is Dr. Holland Palms. He's a professor of food science and nutrition in Munich, and he holds a PhD in food technology and biotechnology from BOKU Vienna. And he has managed various international research projects and initiatives, and he's the founder of the MONICA association that has run for the past 10 years. Tulia, do you have a question for?
Yes. Hi, Roland.
Hi, Tulia.
Yes. And yes, the question is based on your experience, exactly the experience that that was cited by Jerome in coordinating an important association as MONICA, such as MONICA, and is a network as well. Where do you see that we can have the key points for the future sustainability of the OLEUM network? This is an hard question, I know.
Well, thank you, Tulia. From our experience, the momentum that a project has does really need to be taken forward within the consortium. When we talk about new projects, there is an amazing network of experts and skills that should be used also in the future. What we did in MONICA is we tried to establish also future model projects and also models how to involve the partners in different project proposals. But not only that, from somewhere you would also need to find sources of at least small income to have some activities funded by this consortium. We took the path that we actually established an association. It's a non-profit association, and the main pillars of that association are, of course, the network, which we keep in sort of a kind of a membership fee. The second pillar is that we also try to work on communication and passing on of information via webinars, workshops, or conferences, where we also generate some income to sustain some of the activities of the MONICA Association. And the third point was also to develop certain services that can be paid for. What we did is we started different projects in providing reference materials for food allergen analysis, for instance, and they are also being marketed and sold, which also helped the association to grow as far as expertise is concerned, and also to build on the expertise that we had in the initial project, but we extend that to various other activities. And I think also for OLEUM, whatever was developed in that project could also enter maybe a similar path also for dissemination, training, and also keeping the experts involved in further activities.
Tulia, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. I've written everything. Your suggestion, those of Professor Conte, to go ahead with our network. So thank you really much.
You're welcome.
And then I would like to introduce the final panelist, Dr. Angela Fabiri. He's the Senior Chemical Officer at ICQRF Central Laboratory of Rome. responsible for the oils and fat and analytical service, and member of the group of experts for the study of new analytical methods for olive oil and olive oil of the International Olive Oil Council, and delegate for the Italian Ministry of Agricultural Policies to attend the meetings of the group of experts of olive oil at the European Commission, DG Agri. Welcome, Dr. Fabiri.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome, Angelo. So for you, a key question of the quality control. So in your opinion, could the methods for the determination of volatile compounds be promising to support the panel test and could be applicable, this much more relevant, by official control labs?
Well, first of all, good afternoon to everybody, and thank you for inviting me in this conference. Well, this is a very interesting question. Let me say that panel test is a very challenging field because it's one of the official tests to be made on olive oil to assess its conformity to law. And from a legal point of view, this organoleptic assessment is a method like any other. So any non-conformity of organoleptic characteristic can lead to consequence of having the product downgraded, as it would be with any other chemical or chemical physics parameter indicated of those indicated in the European regulations or Annex 1 of Regulation 2568 of 1991. But from another point of view, this organoleptic assessment is a method like no other because it puts human perception at the center of the evaluation process, and this is a non-exchangeable feature of this method. And to date, this remains one among the best tools to assess the quality of an oil in a measurable way. So let me say that I'm very happy to see that a lot of work has been made within this project on the organoleptic method, the organoleptic evaluation, and to address possible issues of this method. One of the biggest issue is but I think it's an issue with every product, is if there are gray areas in classification. So when you perform some check and you check the compliance, and you may encounter these gray areas where the classification is difficult. And this is an issue that is caused by the uncertainty of measurement, but it's something that affects every method. And that's unavoidable. And this exists for every other parameter, but in many circumstances, this may create legal problems like litigations and so on. So the organoleptic assessment probably is affected by this problem more than average respect to the other method, I would say. Because this method is intended to minimize the arbitrary judgment of one person through the method itself, but it still has a big problem that is a metrological one. So because the values of the attributes are we can say that the reference of the panel test is stored. There is no reference row, the reference kilos, reference meter, but the reference, the facts are stored in the memory of the tasters. So it's a kind of collective memories because the method has set up a lot of statistics to minimize this, to overcome this problem. But yes, an analytical method to solve this problem, this kind of problem, I think, is welcome. If we have standards, we can perform. So why not? So using a method to analyze volatile to help a panel test, of course, that can be made once the method is validated, once we have standards, when we have all the tools that enable us to do this. This means that I think that there are no hurdles to in the future to set up something, an official method for the volatile, for the analysis of volatile to help panel test. It means to help, it means not to substitute, because as long as my idea that is not it's not so you cannot find any substitute right now. So the panel is still an indispensable tool, and it's a good tool. But well, there are many ways in which a method for the volatiles can help the organoleptic assessment. It can be used to confirm, or can be used for filter, or can be used for screening. I think that could be a lot of room for this for such a method. And indeed, one of the problem of the organoleptic assessment is the limited capacity of the analysis, as long as we need at least 8 testers. And we have seen during this pandemic that these it can be a problem in this unfortunate time in which we have to experience social distancing. So also I think that also consider it a method for screening. It can be also an option, a viable option, I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Fabiri.